All right, folks, we are back for another fantastic week here at Cyber Trading University. Welcome on back for our morning meeting this Monday, August 19th. Happy belated birthday, actually, to Debbie. Quick shout out to Debbie, actually, to begin. And for all of our students and members here, should be good to go inside our live trading room. Got Luis, got Michael, got Lawrence, got Richard, got Ray, got Tim, Lynn, and Randy, got Charlene, Kevin, Barbara, Kathleen, Phil, Robbie, and all of us here otherwise. Full house here this morning. And, with that said, not surprising, because there's actually a lot to talk about this week. There's still more earnings to come out this week. We have our classes continuing this week. Phase 2 stock course coming up today, and as well as the end of this week on Friday. But alongside that, and traders talk on top of that as well today, our weekly workshop. Stay tuned for that if you're on social media as well, at Cyber Trading U, just popping up there probably lower left if you're joining us here this Monday morning, at Cyber Trading U. Just always look to follow and subscribe to our social media streams there. But we ended up seeing ALZN make a big pop today, and it's not much of a surprise because of what we traded last week, because of the stocks that had moved last week. So let me just ask all of us on social media, feel free to chime in as well here. And all of us inside our live trading room, certainly I want you to answer more than anyone. What was the reason we ended up seeing a lot of these like pharma stocks make a move? What was the reason for a lot of these pharma stocks to come out with news and make a big pop last week and this morning? What happened last week, folks? Mpox, monkeypox. To go into that just for a bit, isn't the disease fully based off of, it was from monkeys, like it was from the animal monkey, so it was named monkey. Mpox, monkeypox, it is all good. Just to say, that is the reason why we end up seeing a lot of these trades make a big move from last week. ALZN now being just another runner, but we'll see if the news is in relation to Mpox. I'm talking about VRAX, though. This thing from this morning completely took off, and it was one from last week that ended up making a pretty good move. This was more on Wednesday, ended up making a pretty good pop at the time. 130 up towards just about to 190 it topped off at. This was actually the weaker of the Mpox stocks at the time. We did really well on SIGA. We did really well on the GovX trade, right? And I think one more on top, but at least to mention this morning, this thing kept going at least from Friday and then completely exploded this morning. So there had to have been an update on their vaccine, on their drug for Mpox. Let me just get that up right now. Do I have VRAX? Yeah. All right, so a couple screens here. Focus on the right side, at least for me here. Let's just take a look. So this was from Thursday. I'm not really seeing much of an update, at least in relation to their continued strength after the WHO last week declared the virus a global health emergency, but not in relation to specific news to the company. EBS, GovX, VRAX. EBS we didn't even trade last week. I guess that's another one that we'll focus on. Shares of vaccine and Mpox-related stocks trading higher on continued strength after the WHO last week declared the virus a global health emergency. So it even goes to show, I didn't even check on VRAX as much specifically. So it goes to show that there doesn't need to be news specifically out on a given morning that could allow a stock traction, good strength on the way up. And it led to a phenomenal move. So, the key is on this trade. Well, actually, stick with us here later on this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may reside. 12 p.m. Eastern time coming up later on today, this afternoon for us here inside our live trading room. We're going to be conducting our weekly traders talk for any of us on social media right now, again, at Cyber Trading U. That will give you a really good ability to really, understand why a stock is moving the way it is. We basically do this every week, every Monday now going forward, and it gives us the chance to essentially reverse engineer a move, why it made the move that it made. It's easy to say, oh, you could have jumped in right here and sold right here. If trading was that easy, you and I would not be on like a YouTube stream right now, right? Come on, let's be legit right now. So that's where I'll say we'll focus on the patterns that lead us to profitability much more often than not. And yes, sometimes we'll take losses, right? So we'll go over where that actually could lead to a loss here or there. But this has been a very steady move, one that allowed multiple re-break entries, I'll just say. And now at this point, the question is, can resistance flip into support? Can we get another run back up? Earlier, I'd called out support off of 5 in the VWAP, and you had a quick 30, even more than that. It was like a 50-cent bounce, 65-cent bounce ultimately here. But it was good for like 30, 35 cents immediately off the pop. And the question is, can you move up higher? Can not only build support, but can it look to make that pop up higher later on? So at least for the morning here, going into Monday, I have just no problem morning day trading watch list. You're probably hearing a lot of typing there. VRAX to begin. We'll throw that on our watch list. Now, let me jump back to the other one here. ALZN. What is this? ALZN Neuro. So I'm going to shoot from the hip on that one. I legitimately don't know. Like ALZN, this might not have to be with Mpox. This might have to be with Alzheimer's, potentially neuro, Alzheimer's. So this one here, I guess, ALZN Neuro shares trading higher after the company announced that it's partnering with Massachusetts General Hospital. It's a contract research organization that conducted its first of its kind phase 2 clinical study for PTSD. Oh, okay. So Alzheimer, PTSD, essentially this one is for at least. But yeah, I mean, hey, nice run up. This is not as easy to say like, oh, you could have jumped in right here. Yeah, maybe aside from the one re-break that you had off of 350, but this just kept popping and popping and popping. And maybe later on, you could have taken it off a 6. Actually, you definitely could have. I'll go over that in a bit. I wrote to Grant and a lot of our students inside our trading room earlier. This is a very expensive burger I made this morning. I always have like a burger with an egg for breakfast, a little toast, a little sourdough. Yeah, that was a pretty expensive breakfast I made this morning because I came back and I missed this move. So shit happens, but no, it's just to say really at least. Now the question is with this, can it make the same type of play that we're looking for in VRAX? Can it hold higher low, higher high? Right now it's higher low. This is higher low. Can it get higher high? So, again, it goes right on our watch list to begin as well. ALZN, not a Mpox stock, but just more with PTSD. Alzheimer's likely with that as well. All right, so VRAX is one of the Mpox stocks. GovX was another. Popped even more this morning here, but much like it was on Friday, this thing retains its personality of just being like a chaotic mess. This thing's a disaster. So, even from Friday, this thing had a couple of breakout entries. I ended up getting it off at 545, 550 right over here it was. But it was pretty staticky to begin. It was easy to leave money on the table on a move like this. Ended up running up from 4 essentially up to 6, then broke higher later on. Hey, if you swing traded it, you're a winner this morning. We're not really swing trading these stocks. Listen, with what happened with COVID, we know that those stocks ended up making like day over day runs or even week over week runs. But they came back down twice as fast as they had pumped up. So you don't want to be a part of the way down. Big trees fall hard. So yeah, it's up 52% this morning. There's other opportunities out there today. We just saw them in ALZN. So yeah, for right now, do I have any issue adding this to our list? No, I'll definitely add this to our watch list here. But I hope it becomes a nice breakout trade later on or after the open. If it just retains its choppiness here, I'll look to move on from it pretty quick. So. All right, on the stick for about like 5 hours today. I feel like I'm the guy that does NFL Red Zone, speaking of the NFL season coming up. But we got phase 2 class in the morning. Right after that, a coaching session with one of our students. Right after that, traders talk. After that, another couple of calls with students after that as well. And then phase 2 again. So, with that, I got to retain my water here. Let's go from top to bottom now. We did trade the ASTS. We did trade the Sing trade. APDN, maybe pre-market mover this morning. Maybe this is also an Mpox stock. I'll jump to the news one more time for this. APDN. Man, Benzinga. I don't know if there's no news out on these companies or if Benzinga's maybe slacking here. They're normally not slacking behind on the news, but yeah, I don't really have any sort of news aside from maybe them grouping it with the Mpox stocks here. Codex is a familiar name. GovX we traded. So APDN, I guess, is just another one. Mpox here, but there's no direct news in relation to a drug or anything like that. It's more of a sympathy play here, but it's a hell of a sympathy. Hell of a sympathy this morning. This thing broke out at the crack of dawn or even earlier. So, again, another stock that we could definitely add to our list. Hopefully it continues to push up here later on, but most of these stocks will eventually come back down very hard. If a lot of these stocks do pull back after the first 5 minutes or shortly within the first 5 minutes, either way, you want to move on from those stocks. So we're looking for good direction more than anything. And right now they'll make the cut, they'll make the list, but if they all just die off as soon as the market opens, I'm not going to have much interest in them. Sonder, same thing here. This one already died off, so I'm going to move on from it for right now. GovX, talked about. ALTS here, a little choppy, a little spotty. So kind of focused on the other trades. I'm choosing those over this one at least. Fubo, forgot about Fubo. Fubo had a nice pop Friday afternoon. Not an Mpox stock, I don't believe. Fubo, I think, is TV, right? So Let's see. Yeah, Fubo TV shares trading higher after the judge temporarily blocked the Fox Disney Warner streaming venture Venu. Okay, so the more you know. I didn't realize that. I'll have to stay more on top of this. This is like just of personal interest to me. I like reading up about like the TV rights of shows, companies, broadcasts, whatever it may be, and just something to keep more in the know of. Fubo here, and yeah, as far as a chart, not terrible. It's more of a category one. Definitely pretty slow moving, but for any of our new students here, this is really a good stock for you. Know your worth on a trade like this. It's not going to make the same type of pop that ALZN made. It's higher liquidity. But hey, it's much lower risk. So if you're looking to just learn how to set stops, if you're looking to learn how to take an entry as a brand new trader or a student here at CTU, this would be a great stock for us to advocate for you to follow. Zim, what the hell happened here? Someone popped up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even see this. So let's see here. One more time. Again, I don't want to say one more time because I've been breaking this out every time here. Zim, Israeli-based cargo shipping company. Q2 financial results, raised its guidance. I don't know what relation it has with what's going on with Iran. I think that there's talks of a ceasefire happening. So nice pop here to begin. I just wish that this had better liquidity on the order book. That's the only thing. This thing has a big spread. So for a $22 stock, I just feel like there's better opportunity. I'd rather trade PLTR, which is not nearly up as much, but has much better liquidity, and it's like another $10, $12 a share more. So just pick your poison really this morning, or pick your weapon. I want to say poison. Poison sounds bad. All right, we keep going here. CMRX, not really doing it for me right now. It's like trying to make a rounded bottom. If it pops later on, I'll call it out. IMNN, this is a former tease. RKLB, this stock actually had a good pop from Friday, then even from Thursday. This was a good move from Thursday to begin for us. We put it on our watch list on Thursday afternoon and made a nice little run up towards 6, false breakout. But from there, flipped that 6 into support, popped later on in Friday morning session, and then still holding here pretty well. So I do like the RKLB. I'll add the RKLB here to our list. Let's see here from Joker. I'm learning, but not a beginner. What stock will pump? Well, that's the good old question, Joker. That's where we have to say we have to be intelligent with what we're putting on our watch list. A lot of these stocks are active so far, but once the market opens up, a lot of these trades are not just going to move up, but they'll crash. So you got to learn to, at least be selective as far as like knowing where to jump in, but which ones to focus on at first. That's what we're doing here for you. All right. Let's keep going here. Otherwise, see what else we got on the more expensive gainer side here. What is the website name number? Oh, so I'll actually type our office line in for you, Joker, just at the end of this stream, just our US based line at least. But otherwise, you can go right to our website here. Right over here, ctu.co/trial. That would take you inside our live trading room just for a week trial. Just give you a small taste of what we're all about here. Otherwise, again, stay tuned though. Later on today, 12 p.m. Eastern time, every Monday going forward, live workshop right here on YouTube. It's simulcast from our live trading room. All right, Google here though. Otherwise, nice little pop. I know there's a lot of news regarding Google lawsuit, them splitting up maybe. So that's all I know. I don't want to go any more into that and, act as if I know a lot about that right now. I got to read more about that too, but little pop, maybe you focus on Google here with the market play this morning moving up. There we go. We actually just posted our US line right there for Joker, for all of us on YouTube as well. You could always call our office right there as well. It's our US line. All right, so hopping over to the losers list here. This thing's down big, 35+% LQDA. It's hard to borrow from me. The only issue for this thing is just that it's got a bad spread. So I'm not too interested in this stock just for that reason. Big trees fall hard. We knew that was going to happen with Sing eventually. This was another runner from last week. The ASTS as well. We'll get to the ASTS in just a bit. We had called that out just before in our trading room. Yeah, the Sing trade had a pretty strong pop on Thursday morning. It ended up making a pretty strong move, then completely took off on Friday, and then here we are now. So does it hurt for us to add Sing to our watch list? At this point, kind of. At this point, kind of, because we're building up our watch list at this stage. We still have to go through our side list, see what other stocks are out there that are moving with the market. Maybe we do put Google on our watch list at the end of it all. We don't need to add this stock at this point. It's already dumping back down a bit, already made its move. Now the ASTS here, I feel like there's more momentum, at least from last week on ASTS. I'm not so jumpy to put it on our main list right now. If it was going to make a better pop after we had called it out off of 31.30, after 31.35 it was. Had a nice little pop here at the time. I thought there was a chance for this to try and move better. It didn't. So going into the open, I'll just keep this on our side list for right now. All right, so for Joker, for Rob, for Jeremy, and for all of us here inside our YouTube stream, let me know if there's anything else that you want me to check out, or for Kathleen, Brad, Michael, Ravina, Luis, all of us inside our live trading room. Likewise for you. From Jeremy, says the TNXP trade. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it's below $1. We normally don't trade these like stocks below $1. The only way that we would is if they're making a much better trend up towards 1. The reason I say that is because, well, 2 reasons. These stocks below $1 don't normally make as consistent of a move compared to the stocks that we're going to focus on, and especially the stocks that we're going to jump to in a bit, like the side list stocks that we normally kind of look at day to day. But otherwise, when a stock moves up towards $1, it's not just, popping up on your scanner. It's not just about what you're looking at. Think about how many more eyeballs are going to focus on this stock just solely because it breaks over 1. That's what we're more focused about. We're following the money. So, maybe those people aren't like big money or intelligent money, but the more people that are kind of conglomerating at that price or focused on it once it breaks over $1, there are chances where it makes an even better move. So that's where we'll tend to focus on these types of stocks. But, to each their own. Everyone's got their own cup of coffee this morning. All right, though. Otherwise, let's see. What do you think is going to happen to crypto and the option? Well, how about this, Joker? Email me personally. We'll jump back on our stream later on today. Josh@ctutrading.com. Just join us on YouTube or inside our live trading room. Again, that'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. A little simulcast there. Current time, 9:18. I want to make sure our students and myself have enough time to prep and get ready for all of us in our trading room for the market opening up. Actually, I'll keep that open one more time right there for you. Josh@ctutrading.com, right? All right, so check out Benzinga Pro scanners here before we finish up. Fausto on vacation, folks, just for all of us here that normally focus on the morning. So you got me at least for the next week or so. But checking out our scanner here to finish up, SOND up a little bit. I guess we said we'd come back to that. SLXN starting to pop. I feel like that one rings a bell. SLXN, I feel like it's rung a bell. Maybe that's why I got crushed from Friday and just didn't really make a great move. But it was on the losers list. Yeah, it's not really moving too well right now. Yeah, we're going to pass on that thing. This thing too, I mean, it already popped and dropped. I want to see better movement on this trade going forward before I tend to focus on it again. I think there's just better plays at this stage. Will you check relay on NASDAQ? Phil, RILY you're talking about? This one, because this Riley stock, if that's what you're referring to, saying that to Phil inside our trading room, Phil S. This actually had a little pop on Friday. I forgot about this one there. It's not really doing much right now, though. If that's what you're referring to, at least. Riley here, right? RILY. Let me know, Phil. Dominic saying Clove. Yeah, it's not a bad mover right now. It started to make a move on Friday. It's inching up a little bit, right? It's inching up a little bit. We don't have a huge watch list right yet, so I'll add that for now. And Phil confirming, yeah, the Riley stock that was. Okay, we'll keep that on the side list for right now, Phil. It's not looking that great. ALTS from Ravi, same here. It's up 23%, but it's not really showing much right now. If it starts to show something again after the market opens up, subject to change. But let's start and stick with what we got here, folks. Listen, we just went about 20 minutes here to scan the whole market, see what's out there going into the market open. So, for Robbie, Dominic, and all of us here otherwise, there's the watch list, and we'll post that there for you right away. VRAX, GovX, the MPOX stocks ultimately. ALZN is a pretty good mover. Fubo is like that nice level 1 stock. Let's start with those to begin. And after like 5, 10, 15 minutes, if none of those are really making a move whatsoever, or maybe if there's a stock that gets halted out of the blue, we'll focus on it at that point. But, let's see what we got here to begin. All right. So for all of us inside our live trading room, stay tuned. We'll be back on in just about 9 or 10 minutes, right when the market opens up. We have a bunch of new trial members joining us here actually today. So not just for those of us on YouTube to join us live every morning, scan the QR code yourself, but actually a quick shout out to Daniel. Randall, got Johnny, got James G. I got a few more of us joining us here this morning as a new trial member. So welcome aboard. The key to CTU as a trial member, I know we don't like being told what not to do. I'm the leader in the clubhouse when it comes to that. I freaking hate being told not to do things. Don't trade just yet. Don't look to trade. Don't look to risk any live money with us. Focus on your normal positions that you tend to do yourself, but don't look to trade our call outs just yet. Tend to just be more in the passenger seat of this car, seeing if this is for you or not. Right. It's not for everyone. So last thing we want to do is have you like, oh, I'm going to make money because Josh is talking about a stock. And you don't know why we're calling it out. You don't know how we're trading the stock. You don't know what we're looking for within strategy, right? Wendy and Belle and Grant and Richard and Dominic and Margaret, and I could go on and on. Our students, they certainly know. They're experienced. They've gone through our curriculum likely more than one time at this point, right? Likely more than one, likely several times. So welcome aboard. There's a lot to look forward to, but just for right now, take a step back, just see if this is something for you or not. We'll be back on in just a bit for all of us on YouTube as well. Just stay tuned at 12 o'clock Eastern time, just coming up, our weekly workshop traders talk hosted by myself. We'll just go through questions, basically reverse engineer moves, going over why they made the moves in which they made, and go from there. All right, folks, talk to everybody soon. Take care.